Welcome to another episode of Chitangani with the Sound Sangoma. Today I'm going to be showing you how to use those reverbs and delays to make sure your mix is nice and wet. Let's get to it. There we go. Cool, man. So have you ever wondered why your vocal doesn't sound as professional as it's supposed to be? You know, there's little things that professionals do really well, which is reverb. And sometimes people just put the reverb there and think that it's just gonna work. You know, you have to cover your space, you have to make sure that your reverb is right. So let's listen to the session. Go. Cool, so you can hear pretty cool, smooth vocal. You know what I mean? So let's talk a little bit about reverb. So there's different types of reverb. Before I even start with this one, I'm just gonna close this, put my EQ somewhere here, and then I'm gonna put in a normal reverb. One of my favorites too. I love this reverb. Reverb. So if you're working on Pro Tools, you probably get this as standard. So this doesn't matter what DAW you are using. So first of all, before I even get to the technicality of the reverb itself, is how are you sending reverb? So basically how I do my reverb, I'll have my own reverb bus, which is gonna be sent using a bus. So I'll have my own channel here, which is an aux channel, and then from the channel, for example, from this channel, I'll be sending to the reverb, your reverb. So in front of me, I have reverb, Pro Tools standard. Pretty cool little reverb. I like this reverb. So just to get you through the reverb, we have a pre-delay. Pre-delay, I'll play around with pre-delay so you can hear what's going on. This is basically when the reverb is gonna start. So you have a little bit of a delay. Maybe you want your vocal to come through and then you want reverb to start. It's very, very important if you want to maintain the definition of your vocal but still have the watch reverb that you're looking for. So if I'm using it as a bus processor, for example, I'm gonna make sure that it's on 100% because I only want my reverb. And one thing that you have to make sure that you're sending it post so that when you play around with the level, you're playing around with the level of how much is going into your reverb. Right, so without any, I'm gonna go mute my beat, and then I'm gonna leave the. So this is the reverb you're listening to. I'm gonna put it up so it's obvious. So I'm playing around with the pre-delay. So there's so many ways to get pre-delay, so I'm just exaggerating so you can hear what's going on. You can take out a calculator and calculate the delay time and all of that. I know engineers who do that. I do it sometimes if I'm just doing a quick mix, but for me, most of the time it's a feel thing where I feel like it's right, where I feel like it's sitting well. I just dial it. Sometimes close my eyes and just dial it in the space that I like, so that my ear can kind of way I get excited. Sometimes not getting it right and just close enough sounds very, very nicer than just having it where it's supposed to be at. Right, but it depends on the flavor and what you're trying to get to. So if you listen to the pre-delay, you can hear at a certain point it feels like there's an echo because the reverb, whatever is being said starts, and then the reverb is gonna start later. So let me. And there's a lot of things that you can change. For example, I'm a fan of presets. It's a starting point. Most of the time when I use this, I start from the vocal plate and just leave it to medium. And then the first thing will be just go. That's above, or chillin' on Muhari. And no one beats you for an amiani. Dinas gone, Yativa Hasari. And a Sivara, Sibodo, Asari. Una jig city Zoro at the body. Nam Shavi have a funny Namabari. Lima Bedero, Arita Satingali. Kumunamuna, Kumbuza. So I can still hear what's being said. Remember, I can play around with the level of how much I want. I'm just exaggerating now so you guys can hear what I'm doing. So, for example, with a reverb like that, I'll probably follow it up with an EQ just to make sure that I EQ my reverb out, take out what I don't like. For example, so if you listen, Zurando the takare and the 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 what's a manongwisa. So I'm kind of like drastic when it comes to my reverb because there's only certain. It's like creating a room. It's like if you have a baffle in a room or a drum room or a drum booth, you know, you want to pad out some frequencies. You don't want them to be bouncing out. So it's like creating your own room, and you gotta take your time with this. You can hear that the difference between. You can hear how much the EQ, the difference, the EQ. So when I was doing the reverb, a lot of people will probably be like, nah, it doesn't really sound that good. Yes, it doesn't, because it's not always just gonna sound that good when you put it in, but then I can cover it. There's more things I can do. I can put a distortion plugin in there if I want. I can compress it. So compression is another one. So if I just show you a little bit, you know, so a lot of people, I'm not gonna. It's what you feel, you know what. Bangasiruke, Bazamanongoda, Bangasiwine, Zurando the takare and the 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 Bazamanongwisa, Bangasiruke, Bazamanongoda, It just, so for me, the compressor, what it does mostly with reverb is like I can paste it around the vocal. If I want the vocal to be exclusively in that space, I don't want it to be too big because there's other things that are going to be occupying that space. The compressor for me just makes it, just put that vocal in the bubble, still punching through, but the reverb is just coming to me because now I have it, you know, in a certain dynamic range. So just basically listen to where the vocal is actually sitting, because you gotta remember with reverbs and delays, it's mostly about the space where you want to place the space. So listen to the space. So you can kind of like hear that space that I'm carving around the vocal. So that's basically reverb. So I have my reverb already that I already use for this. If it looks the same, kind of like, so most of the reverbs will have advanced. The reason why I love the reverb is because I can do most of the things that I did with these two plugins here with this. You know, the same pre-delay still here, the time, size, the diffusion, decay, early reflections, the reverb, the wet and dry. And now I can have my EQ. I can EQ, I want my reverb. I have the reverb, which I can play with the early reflections, as you can see there, the time, the decay of the reverb, and then damping is just which frequencies that I want to damp. So this area here is mostly what I want. I'll probably pull it back there, but I still want a little bit of that high, but I don't want the highs to kind of like be overwhelming. So let's listen to this without this. Popo makinga fila tafu Achakte la tito diva zirafu Adaz above Ochila na muhari Anavumbi zirufara na miani Linas gone Yativa hasari Anasivara sibodo ajisari Una jiksi zizoro ajibari Namshavi abafani na mabari Lima bedero arita satingali Kumunamuna kumbuzani ani Wazamanongwisa Bangasiruke, Bazamanongoda, Bangasiwine, Right, so you can hear the difference. I had to go change the EQ because it sounds different, and that's the thing with reverbs. Not all reverbs are gonna sound the same. You get your favorites. You get reverbs that you use for your vocals, reverbs that you use for your instruments. It's all up to you. You have to play around with your reverb. Another trick or tip I can just show you now is I sometimes duck my vocal compressor. The compressor, instead of like itself triggering from the reverb, I'll trigger it from a side chain. So I'll go there and I will say bus one, and then on bus one, let me just send full large. So now instead of the reverb itself ducking by itself, the vocal is actually ducking the reverb, which means at the point where the vocal is very, very prominent, the reverb goes back a little bit. At the open spaces, it kind of like opens. So it kind of like that. So let me just play. You know what I mean? So it's so you can kind of like hear the effect. I like this because it kind of like brings my vocal still at the front, and then you still perceive the big reverb, which is what a lot of people are doing these days. The problem with reverb sometimes is if you have a lot of reverb, your vocal kind of feels like it's no longer in your face. So let me show you a little bit of the delays that are happening in this song. So it's this. So basically, I love ping pong. I always have a ping pong delay, depending. And again, with the delay, I can sync it to the tempo, but I just, I'm old school, just tapping the tempo, just getting that, not at the right number, just a little bit around it, just feels good. Because the thing is, if I go to BPM, for example, I'm more, there is in between, but it's kind of like, if it's a quarter note, it's gonna be a quarter note. So if I'm here, I can kind of like, for example, so you can see it feels like it's in the background. I just wanted to ping pong there. A lot of the ad libs are actually going to the delay. Not everything is going to the delay. Probably take the main vocal out of the delay, and just have it on a very, very quick delay if I want. Right, again, with delays, you can get like multi-tap delays, you can get like different delays. Again, it's just you understanding what you're trying to get. Like I said, you can go and find formulas, there's calculations, even apps that you can just punch in the tempo of the song, and then it will tell you what's the number that you need to dial in for your delay. But again, for me, I feel like I'm still, I'm more fascinated about turning the notes. But that's why I spend my time kind of trying to figure it out. If we actually so you can feel, even with my delay, I can automate my delay the certain points. So you can go an automation, level automation, open and closing automation, or you can put like a gate or a reverb in there and just duck something to it. Whenever the vocal is going, it's closed. Whenever the vocal stops, the delay comes on. So there's a lot of tips and tricks that you can do with the bit. Bangasiruke, Bazamanongoda, Bangasiwine, Tura no Titakare, and the Tura no Titakare, and the Tura no Titakare, and the Tura no Titakare, and the. Cool. I hope you guys learned something from me today. This is how I get my reverbs going, depending on the genre, like I said. If you have any comments, please leave them there on the comment section. Thank you for subscribing. If you're already subscribed, if you haven't subscribed, I don't know what you're waiting for. Please make sure that you smash that subscribe button. Make sure that you share this with your friends and your musician friends and everybody who's in the industry. Thank you very much again. Much love. Love you so much. See you next time.